as an IB student, something that is constantly mentioned is the IB learner profile, as you did earlier. So can you expand a little bit on what impact does it have on the student's academic journey, as well as in their life, more broadly speaking?
Um, yeah, definitely. That's the IB learner profile. It's I have a lot of endearment for it for two reasons. As you mentioned at the beginning, Davis, I was a PYP coordinator. That's my specialty, to work with the little ones. That's my battle. When they're 5 years old, I'm a little bit scared. But when they're 3 to 6, I'm good. No, but it's the learner profile. It's something that comes from the PYP. We started to see how, in order to land an understanding of international mindedness, it was necessary to have these profile, these are 10 attributes, Felipe, to your question. These are 10 attributes that allow students to, and not just students, but the whole community, like the teachers, also the leaders within a school, and hopefully the families, to understand how we have responsibilities as IB students. And these responsibilities as IB students, it's to be a caring person, to be knowledgeable, right? So, like whatever we read or whatever we watch, whatever we listen, it's like, how can we be critical without knowledge that it's presented to us? To be critical thinkers, to be also, risk takers. We want in the IB that our students, and again, when I talk about students, I want to mention teachers and leaders and families, like to be risk takers in terms of like, hey, just to question something like, I don't understand that. That's taking a risk for many of us. And for many students, just like raising our hand, sometimes it's like you're taking a lot of energy. But also like to be a risk taker in terms of like, oh, I want to try something new. I want to challenge myself. To be balanced, as I mentioned before, to have to see the importance of my being healthy physically and emotionally, and also cognitively. So the IB learner profile is these. I always see it as this I used to explain it to my early childhood students. This portfolio of really cool things that I want to be all the time. I want to be caring. I want to be knowledgeable. I want to be, risk taker. I want to be balanced. I want to be an inquirer. I really want to ask myself about things. I want to be, a communicator. I really want to communicate, and I remember, telling to my students like, hey, you're going to be a communicator, and can you be a risk taker while you're a communicator? Can you communicate without drawing it? Maybe just, with students that had sometimes that challenge of oh, I don't want to say it verbally. Like, oh, why if you're a risk taker and a communicator? So these were ways of also telling students you can, this is your portfolio of being a cool person throughout the world, and to be international minded, to understand other cultures. You can be a risk taker by speaking another language. So that's kind of how I see, Felipe, the IB learner profile. And just to tell you a little bit of the history, it started as the IB learner, the profile for the IB student. I think that was the name back in the day. So we were just thinking about the student, we want to promote these with the students. And then through different discussions, it was well, we also want our teachers to leave this learner profile. So it's going to be the profile for, the school community. And then he was well, but also parents are part of the school community, and also our leaders. So it eventually became the IB learner profile for the community, right? The IB community learner profile, because we want all our families to live through this profile. And of course, the students are the ones that are our liaison, right, between what's happening in the school and what's happening in the house. So that's kind of the history of the IB learner profile. And I'm sure all of you who have expertise in the IB, you can also have examples at your own grade levels, of how you leave the IB learner profile and how it looks like. But, now that you were asking me, Felipe, I was wondering, Also, like, how are you living the IB? You know, as a student, as a person who's, you know, like, and also like during these very particular times, what has the IB brought to your life? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. So being an IB student really requires this constant development of the learner profile characteristics that you mentioned right now, because it is indeed a very rigorous program. However, I do think that the IB enables students to not only delve into the academic world, but also the outside world that it has been debating here. So, as brought up, the IB instigate this global set of thinking that basically prepares everyone individual to future opportunities as not a student but as a citizen. So I like to think of the IB experience as a moment in my life where I was often challenged and also pushed to give my best and really try to further my education, but also my personal traits with the IB learning profile characteristics. So like for instance, CAS is a core subject in the IB, and it basically requires students to develop experiences and projects in three areas, that is creativity, activity, and service. But the thing is that CAS is like much more than just an IB subject. The whole journey needs commitment to not only yourself but also the community you live in. So that phrase of act locally, and the like the you have the opportunity to create such experiences while also developing personal skills and really feeling like you're making a difference in your local community. So it really enables you to take part in projects, give life to ideas, and also to expose yourself to new perspectives that will basically instigate your self-growth. And I have studied at Pueri for over 10 years right now, and I know that since early stages we were always immersed into the volunteering and community services world. So like I strongly believe that the overall school culture positively affected the way I built my CAS experience and my CAS journey. So yeah, I consider myself someone that is engaged with extracurricular activities, and this was highly influenced by not only the school but mostly by the IB that provided me with such strong foundations to seek this whole community engagement and empathy and compassion movement. So yeah, the IB basically for me it transcends the usual high school curriculum that we have, and it innovates education for not only the students but also the whole community, as you mentioned, teachers and parents and the whole school community. And yeah, like the broad range of subjects, the intensity of coursework and content is all of course something that is remarkable about the diploma. But I now know that I'm more prepared for my future life, and that all the hard work and dedication will be paid off for my future life, either as an academic or as a citizen. And that is exactly because the IB and the whole program course and structure molded me into the person that I am today living the diploma. I think it's basically about this, like it's a different structure that of education that brings this international mindedness that we are not used to.
That's amazing, Felipe. Thanks for answering that. It's very it warms my heart, truly. Oh, I wanna cry, but like it really, I do believe that if people like you and in the school like are thinking like that, like things are gonna be better. I do, you know, I think all of us here are educators. I don't know which one will be your path in history or economics or sports, or but you know, like thinking like that and how you're gonna be treating people and seeing people, that gives us a lot of hope. It's amazing. Congratulations for that. And I'm sure, as you said, like it's very rigorous academically, and of course there are days that are like, oh, what am I doing? But you know,
Hope is a word that really defines the IB like experience and what you live